consistency. That's the thing of this game, consistency. The coaches can be consistent with everything they doing, especially with the ranking, because just like y'all said, we have to establish that first. We was very effective. Like I said, 46 carries, 236 yards. Before this game, Miles Sanders, before he got hurt, he was barely eating.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. How you guys doing today? Welcome to We Dem Birds. We are in here. I am BIRDGANG 30. Well, we have a very special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're from, my guy.
Absolutely. Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper. Me and Chris Bizignano have a podcast, the Press Pass, go to all the Giant games. My partner goes to the games and reports from the press box. And I'm the editor. And we have a newspaper and a podcast on all platforms, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, what have you. So thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Rev?
Yes, sir. Hey, so it's good that you report on them. So when I be tearing them apart, you already understand and already know, it is what it is, dog. Because you see it firsthand. Y'all ain't ready this coming Sunday.
Well, listen. I'm a fan, but we're objective too. So I thank God that I have a partner that actually has to go live and see this, because I don't. So I do a lot of the writing on Sundays, but he unfortunately has to go and watch it and then go to the pressers and things like that. So,
I mean, 'cause honestly, in the beginning of the season, y'all was fighting. Daniel Jones didn't look as bad as.
Oh, D chopping up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. You're supposed to introduce yourself, not go straight into the topic. The ref be going, man. He goes straight into it. Hey, listen, I'm coming to talk some football. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, warm it up.
Hey, you already know. Hey, first and foremost, I got to salute my guy Jerry up in here. I know you coming into hostile territory, but yeah, let's warm this thing up, gang. Hey, you know what time it is. You know who you rocking with. It's your boy Billy Notion. Hey, with We Dem Birds, with special guest, my guy Jerry. Hey, Giant Business. So let's check this 4K. Y'all already know. Hey, Lambo, check. Hey, hold on, ring, check. Y'all know we all the way in there, gang. If y'all new to this ride, or my brother's channel, or my man Jerry, hey, hopefully the links is down below. Y'all know what to do. Go hit that subscribe, because y'all know how we rocking with it. Hey, it's an exciting day today, gang. It's time to put the Giants in the trash bag. So y'all know how we feeling today. Let's get it, fellas.
So, Jerry, what do you think is the biggest struggles with the Giants? Is it your offensive line? Actually, let me rephrase that. Is it more your offensive line, the reason why the offense doesn't work, or is it Daniel Jones? Because I am a biased guy. I do not believe Daniel Jones is that dude. But you being a Giants fan, is Daniel Jones that dude, or is it, other problems that keep this offense from moving right?
It's a little unfair, unfortunately, for Jones, because the line's so bad, right? Dave Gettleman took the job 4 years ago. His priority number one was fix the line, and he still hasn't done it, right? He's invested draft capital there. And then, you have Andrew Thomas is probably the best one, but like free agent wise, Nate Solder's been a disaster. Nick Gates was probably their best lineman going into the year. He's out for the year. Shane Lemieux was okay. Will Hernandez, second round pick from 18, he's probably not going to get a second contract. So he was supposed to fix this. So Jones is a product of a bad line, and unfortunately, Jason Garrett's gone. So we're going to see what Freddie Kitchens brings to the table. But Jones looked better under Pat Shurmur. And when he throws a good deep ball, it's funny because coming out of college, supposedly he didn't have a great arm, but he throws the deep ball very well, one of the best in the league at it. So I get why you guys don't believe in Jones, because he hasn't shown as much to make you believe in him. But until the line is fixed, it's very hard to judge him. So I think they're going to use these last 7 games to see where they are with him. I don't think they're going to change him next year, because coming out of the draft, there's not much. I think they're going to roll with him. But, he's going up against it every week, guys. It is what it is. I get your point, but that line is absolutely terrible right now. Absolutely terrible.
Hey, listen, I got to piggyback off of Jerry real quick. That's one of the things that, honestly, with the Giants, you can't really go after Daniel Jones 100% completely because, again, the Giants have struggles with their O-line. And then you mix in, they haven't even been given their opportunities for Daniel Jones to throw the ball down the field. So I honestly think that's where Daniel Jones, again, if he's going to do something, he's at least going to make attempts to throw the ball down the field. And they haven't been letting Daniel Jones do that this year, whether that's due to the O-line. He really ain't been having a whole bunch of time to sit back there and let the plays develop. So, again, Daniel Jones, I agree, is a product of some of that making there. But overall, I see the Giants, again, I think there are some personnel issues. Some of that stuff is self-inflicted. Again, I don't know why Nate Solder was even signed on New York. I thought that was a ridiculous.
Because he was the best tackle at the time, right?
Yes, that's right. They had Eric Flowers.
Somebody in there.
They had Eric Flowers at left tackle.
He came from the Patriots, right? I believe, right? So,
right.
I mean, okay, I get it. He was the high prize signing at that time. But, hey, listen, how long's he been on the Giants now? I would have cut bait with Nate Solder if possible. We would have had to eat some dead cap or something. Look, that man's been a liability on the line for some time. And again, you cannot function. These games are won in the trenches. That needs to be a priority, starting with New York, is getting that line fixed. So, again, I understand Daniel Jones' struggles. It doesn't all just come from him, even though I still do think he's a turnover machine. And, again, I think that needs to be cleaned up with Daniel Jones. But at the same time, that line in New York is not doing him any justice. Again, the stagnant play calling, not really giving him opportunities to throw the ball down the field. And then a lack of a run game. Saquon Barkley don't look like Saquon right now. I mean, y'all got to depend on, Devontae Booker or whoever. Look, that's not enough for Daniel Jones to be successful. And as long as that whole cast is in play, I don't see Daniel Jones putting up too much success until some of those things are fixed.
Yeah, the issue with Solder was because he opted out for COVID, his contract rolled. He probably would have been cut already. So it would have been like a $17 million hit if they cut him now. So I see what you're saying. He's not going to be there next year. That was the issue. They would have cut him already. But back to Jones, Garrett was afraid to throw deep because of the line. Now, Garrett was terrible. But in a way, it was like I kind of understood, like, yeah, okay, what are you going to do? A 7-step drop with this offensive line? I would love to have Kelsey and Lane Johnson. Give me guys like that, guys that have been murdering us for years, like some consistency. So, like right now, Andrew Thomas by far is their best offensive lineman, and he's really only coming into his own this year. And by the way, he's their best red zone threat because he has a touchdown, right? Golly has none. So, it's the line, guys. I mean, Jones has to improve, but until that line improves, it's a little unfair to judge Jones. And trust me, I judge Jones every week, but looking at it objectively, the line is a joke, absolute joke.
Do you think if Saquon's been healthy and you guys actually had a running game going, that Jones will be a lot better?
Good question. The threat of him would be, but I don't know how Garrett would use him, right? I think Shermer used him better. Like Jason Garrett's offense was so stale. It was so bad. And this is a guy who used Jason Witten forever and murdered both your team and my team with him, right? They used the tight end. Wouldn't use, look, Evan Ingram has his problems, but we didn't even try to throw a seam route to him. The screen game is non-existent with Saquon Barkley. The last time the Giants ran a successful screen pass, I think, was 1985 with, Tony Galbraith. So I'm throwing names out you guys probably never heard of, but I mean, it was such when Jason Garrett was hired, we were almost behind the 8 ball, and now we have Freddie Kitchens. It's like, all right, we're starting over on offense. Let's see what he has. Oh, wait, our offensive line can't block anybody. What's Saquon going to do? But hey, man, look, Saquon's, other than his rookie year, has been a massive disappointment with injuries. He can't stay healthy. To me, he looks more like Reggie Bush now. He looks like a third down guy. He's not an every down back. And those were the things coming out of college. Like, he can't pick up the blitz. Well, he hasn't improved there. He's terrible still at picking up the blitz. Between the tackles, he's a little better. But look, man, if you don't get him in space, he's not your running back. So would the Giants have been better with him? Probably, just because of the threat of him. But in reality, I don't know what else he would have done behind this line, guys.
So I got a quick question, Jerry, because I look at, we have similar issues. I know y'all are also getting devastated by injuries and such also. I mean, that's the NFL.
Yeah.
I believe you do have to draft for depth. So it doesn't appear that New York has depth at the O-line position. that's one of the things I'm thankful. Hey, listen, the Eagles, we at least have a little bit of depth. We've been dealing with injuries on our O-line for years. So we know we got people on the O-line that unfortunately aren't as dependable throughout the year. So the Eagles made an important decision to get some depth at the O-line position. I mean, we got people like Suapeta going in, you know, replacing players, Jack Driscoll out there. So again, depth I think is critical in the NFL. And I'm looking at the Giants like, where's the depth? Who's responsible for at least, you know, of course, there's going to be things that happen. Players are going to go down, but where's the rotation to get that thing going? And I'm looking at whoever's doing the drafting over there. I mean, the talent scouting, because again, there's no depth, and there shouldn't be an excuse that just because one starter goes down, the whole line's in shambles. You need to have solid backups behind that.
You're 100% right. And I'll give you an example. At the end of training camp, they added Price, Skura, and Bredesen. Skura and Price are starting now, right? So their depth before was terrible, absolutely terrible. They cut them all. They cut everybody behind the 5 starters, other than, you know, Matt Pert and Solder kind of go back and forth. So behind 6 guys, they cut the rest of them and then brought in new guys. They traded for Billy Price, who was a first-round pick. So, you know, you guys tell me what happens when teams trade their first-round picks away, right? It's because they're stars? No, it's because you gave up on them already. So the Bengals gave us Billy Price for B.J. Hill, who's a very average defensive end who did nothing really for the Giants other than hit Carson Wentz, I think, back in 2018. So they have zero depth. They didn't draft for it. I mean, look, you had a chance at Rashawn Slater and Micah Parsons. Right now, I know Parsons, a linebacker. But after the Eagles did what they did, it was okay. I was almost like, all right, good. Now we're not going to be tempted to draft that wide receiver. Build the line. Take Rashawn Slater. And if you want the shiny toy, take Micah Parsons, right? You don't. Slater was more of a need. He was kind of the perfect storm. And they traded down and took Tony, and then they never took another lineman in the entire draft for a team that needs an offensive line. It's like Groundhog Day. Like, what the hell am I watching every year? How can you run an organization and pull that off? So look, they get the extra pick, and you're happy about it, but this is what happens. Now you cut all your reserves, you bring these new guys in. Now Lemieux goes down, Gates goes down, and this is what you have. And Thomas has been injured for a lot of the year. So now you have, you know, Thomas sometimes, Skura, Price, Hernandez, who's not good, and Nate Solder for some reason starts over Matt Parrott. So that's where we are, guys.
I think a lot of that, for real, honestly, when I look at the two situations as we're talking about the offensive line, I think the biggest difference is the coaching. We made it the Eagles organization made it a priority to make sure that we keep Jeff Stoutland. And this guy, Jeff Stoutland, the coach, has been taking guys, developing guys like Jordan Mailata, you know, this guy who never played football. I feel like, yeah, you can draft guys as good as you want, but they still have a certain ceiling coming out of college that is supposed to be developed. And I feel like the development phase that the Philadelphia Eagles have is way more solid than what the Giants have been trying to do over there, because this is nothing new. The Giants offensive line has been a struggle for a while now, and so that's a situation that they've been trying to address. They've been making draft picks, and they've been getting the players that's projected to do well. It's just when they get to the team, the development phase is not properly being gotten out of them. You know what I mean? So I feel like the development stage is what really separates the two teams for sure.
You have a point. And last year they brought in Mark Colombo to be the offensive line coach. Well, it wasn't working. And Andrew Thomas, their 4th overall pick, the guy drafted ahead of Becton, Wirfs, all the other ones who looked better at the time, Wills too, from Cleveland. It wasn't working. And Judge noticed it, and he fired Colombo. And then now they brought in Rob Sale and all these consultants. And while Thomas has gotten better, you have a point. You have a point. But there's no talent in the backup position due to the injuries, right? So I see what you're saying, and that's why I think you bring up a good point, because that's why Judge is going to stay, right? Judge is going to stay because they want some continuity on the coaching staff. They don't want to turn this whole thing over again and be like, all right, let's bring in a whole new fleet of guys who are going to coach this offensive line who doesn't have the talent to be any better, right? Where I think the Giants have failed, to your point, is a guy like Matt Parrott, third-round pick of Connecticut, who has looked good at times, and then now he's absent. He's not playing. How bad can he be if he's not starting above Nate Solder, right? And here you go. Here's another one. Eric Flowers, right? Horrible tackle. Horrible. We asked Shermer 4 years ago, you ever think of moving him to guard? No. Okay, well, why not? Well, he seems to play guard now, and he's functional. He's not great, but he can function at the position. Weston Richburg, a second-round pick from years ago, just retired, but he was playing center for the 49ers. Justin Pugh's still playing, right, for the Cardinals. These were all Giants. So you're right. There was a coaching aspect. I do think they fixed it, but now it's like, I don't know what the analogy I could use is. It's like, this is like on Thanksgiving, cranberry sauce is what you don't reach for. The Giants offensive line is the cranberry sauce of this team right now. Like, how can you make this taste any better? So,
yeah, question for you. You said it looks like you guys got 2 top 10 picks. Would you draft O-line with both picks?
It depends on how good the edge rusher is because they have no pass rush. So I would make one of them a lineman, has to be. But the other one, if you have Hutchinson, I don't know, from Michigan yesterday, that kid's there. How could you turn him away? Like, that kid can get to I was watching the game going, he's already our best pass rusher. He's not in the team yet. So if there's a rusher like that's available, then yes. But I'm not going to be mad if they take 2 offensive linemen. Like, yeah, go ahead, go for it, guys. But I think the pass rush is so anemic that has to be considered as well. But if they come out of that first round, guys, without an offensive lineman, I mean, then they didn't learn anything.
They didn't learn anything.
Hey, listen, one thing I do got to say, and I'm glad you did bring up Coach Joe Judge, because I'm not going to lie, just as an outsider looking in, I'm just a little skeptical on how he's running certain things there. I mean, some of this stuff is epic to where, you got highlights of the players running laps. That's been like a big highlight just from his coaching style. I know in the beginning part, a lot of people were retiring, it looked like, just out the blue. Some of those players, I believe, were on the O-line. So I got some questions with his coaching style and his presence, and I just would like to know. I mean, I know you said it's possible that, he may be coming back, but my thing is this. If the biggest change in New York might be the GM, because, again, a lot of this stuff starts at the top. Who's making these moves, putting these players and coaches in place? A lot of it goes down to Gettleman. But if there is a new GM, I would expect for the new GM to come in there and clear house. Like, we're getting rid of all of this, and we're going to start the new movement my way. So I believe a lot of it's going to come down to, what the GM's going to bring to this new team. If there is one, if that move is made, I don't see how it's not made. Again, just looking at how this team is constructed right now. Hey, I'm going to keep it real with you, Jerry. This is a rebuild gone wrong. And listen, I mean, they're rebuilding again. Pretty much they're going to have to. So right now, I don't have no confidence. If I was a Giants fan, looking at Joe Judge and kind of what gives you that confidence that he's going to be back, or, that he could actually make some kind of change to the Giants organization? Because I don't see it from Coach Judge.
Yeah, a couple things. First off, the Maras love him, right? Ownership loves him, so I don't see him going anywhere, right? They're going to blame the personnel more than him. Now, last year, I thought he did an incredible job, and we thought we got our guy for the next 5 to 10 years. Like, to do what he did with that team, and look, I know they were 6-10, but if the Eagles didn't quit, guys, the Giants could have won that division.
Oh, there we go.
But anyway, look, he did a good job last year.
Strategical tank. No,
yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Was it Studfeld? Yeah, they had to give him time. So, yeah. But listen, no, seriously. This year, his time management has been questionable. The fact that Matt Parrott is not starting above Solder, very weird. Joe Judge blesses, the play calling, right, that comes in. So it is on him. I just think they're going to look at it like there's been a lot of injuries. The personnel's flawed. I think they're going to choose it. We think they're going to choose a GM that's going to be able to work with Judge, right? So maybe like a Scott Pioli, someone like that who has New England ties, right? But you bring up a great point. Like, are you going to do the same thing that the Jets did with Idzik and Rex Ryan and force the coach on him? I don't think it'll be that toxic. I think it'll be more the guys they interview. Let's talk about Joe Judge. And I think it'll be something where he's not involved in the selection process, but a part of it where they're going to have to get along. So I would think, like, as a fan, I'm 60% Judge should come back. Objectively speaking, I see where you're coming from, but I think he's done more good than bad. And the players haven't quit, right? They quit under Shermer. They quit under McAdoo. They don't quit under Joe Judge. So, and you know what? Pro athletes shouldn't quit, but they do, guys. It's the reality is that at the end of towards the end of the season when things go awry, they're just making business decisions for the next contract. I get it, but they haven't quit on him yet. So I think the only way you don't see him come back is if he completely loses the locker room and they completely embarrass themselves the last 7 games. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jared, we are trying to help with that today. Yes, sir.
Sure.
I got a 2-part question for you.
Yeah.
Kitchen's going to be calling the plays today, right? Or it's be a collective effort. What kind of offense do you think he's going to bring down the stretch of this season?
Well, more shots down the field. I don't know how much he can change in 1 week from Jason Garrett. He'll put his own wrinkles in. I know Jones is wearing a wristband now, so maybe he has more plays to choose from, rather than 3 receivers running into each other over the middle. I don't know if they're going to run that play today. But I mean, look, my partner did a lot of film breakdown, especially last year with the All-22, and the routes you saw from these guys was just ridiculous. And it's going to be a lot of the packages, right? Like on 4th and 1 last week, Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay were off the field and Colin Johnson was in. Like, that is a fireable offense on the spot. If I'm Judge or I'm John Mara, he's out. You're out, Jason. You cannot run that. Like, that is irresponsible. So I think you're going to see better personnel packages. I think you're going to see Kenny Golladay in. I don't know. He's 6'4". We spent $72 million on the guy inside the 20-yard line. They're going to take some shots with him. So it's going to be more about personnel, taking some shots down the field if they can, trying to get Saquon in space and not being so damn predictable. I think that's what he's going to bring from the start. But the problem is now you're going into this game without Kadarius Toney. He's doubtful. I don't think he's playing. This guy's dealing with a quad injury. Sterling Shepard still isn't back. Galladay's healthy. Darius Slayton is what he is. He's a 4th receiver. John Ross, I think, is playing. So we'll see what they can do down the field. But it's going to be more about the packages than anything else, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I would even say that, that's something the Eagles going to have to watch this game. I mean, the Giants have been pounding the table. We need to at least get Galladay some chances downfield. He's not even getting opportunities for 50-50 balls. So right. I think we're going to see a lot of that today. At least their new coordinator or, whoever's calling plays, whether it's Freddie Kitchens or whoever it is, I think that's going to be a highlight of today. We're going to at least try. We ain't got nothing to lose, I think is how they kind of see it. So why not? Let's just, we're still evaluating Daniel Jones. Let's give him some opportunities to throw it downfield and see where it goes. Because, hey, at the end of the day, and that's one thing I have not been liking in this NFL league, but some of these refs have been having way too much impact on some of these games.
Yes.
So the way to even try to tilt that impact or to get that favor is you got to throw it out there. So I expect Daniel Jones to at least give him some opportunities. I'm hoping that the refs ain't on nobody's side today, ain't impacting the game. Let the boys play. But I do expect for the Giants to put it out there for Galladay. Shepard's not playing, so we all know Slayton, he's been known to get behind our secondary, so I expect to see them throw it out there today.
I know the way Big Play Slay is playing. You can throw it out there too many times. He's gonna take it to the house.
Is he healthy? Is he 100%? Is he? Yeah, I mean, Galladay got what, 2 targets last week. I mean, and he just runs slants. Like that's inexcusable, right? Like you said, he came over to be like this pseudo Plaxico Burress where you can at least throw it up and see if he can come down with it. Give him those 50-50 balls. They haven't done it. They haven't done it in the red zone where you thought they would do it. And also, by the way, the Giants only going in with 2 tight ends today. One of them is Evan Ingram. So, while they want to do a lot offensively, there are still injuries that they got to deal with. So, look, man, the play calling cannot be worse than it was with Jason Garrett. I want to see more zone reads. Daniel Jones is the kind of guy that you got to get him running for him to kind of get into the feel of the game. Like once he gets running, then you feel like, all right, he gets kind of into a rhythm and he's much more accurate. So there have been times where he's come out this year where he's been high with the ball or almost too jacked up, like against Dallas, even Monday night. He was missing guys. So, get him running, calm him down a bit, and take your shots when you can. And hopefully they can get some semblance of a running game so that play action actually works. Otherwise, faking to Barkley when you know you're not going to run is going to do nothing. And Fletcher Cox and Hargrave, and who, by the way, is their best defensive lineman by a mile this year, are going to have their way with this offensive line. I mean, Fletcher Cox has been throwing these guys around for 10 years. Like, real quick, there's 4 guys that represent the Eagle dominance over the Giants for 10 years. One of them you got rid of, and I was glad, Malcolm Jenkins. I can't believe you got rid of him. But the other 3 are Kelsey, Lane Johnson, and Fletcher Cox. So I'm not going to feel confident until those guys are long gone.
Well, one thing, listen, and I know us Eagle fans say, listen, we love us some Fletcher Cox. We know that. But the production has been declining some. Let's go and keep it a full bean, Eagles. I mean, Hargrave is looking like the best, the best one on our line up to this point. But again, it can't be, just unacknowledged that Fletcher he commands double teams and things like that. But there was a point in time where he was getting off of those double teams. Not this year. We ain't really been seeing a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to an Eagle fan a few years ago, and I was like, Fletcher Cox is awesome. He's like, he's not Aaron Donald. I'm like, man, you guys are spoiled. Like, are you kidding me? He's a top 3 tackle in the league. Guy throws guys off him like it's nothing. And I live in the between Princeton and Trenton, so I get a lot of the Philly radio, and they kill Fletcher Cox weekly. Like they're so unhappy with him. I'm like, guys, we'll take him. How much do you want, Fletcher? Well, what are you kidding me? Just to draw guys off of, just to draw someone on him or 2 guys on him would be worth the money. So yeah, you guys are spoiled with Fletcher Cox, man. Pretty funny.
I think we're just spoiled to the point where it's not that we don't love Fletch. It's just that we pay him too much money not to get the stats. Yeah, and that's really the only part I see people really killing them about. If Fletch took that pay cut, you know what I'm saying, he want to go down to middle tier type defensive tackle money and just plug holes all day, then I don't think anybody would be complaining about his play at all. But when you're making quarterback money, you know what I'm saying, at that defensive tackle spot, and you do got guys like Aaron Donald, splitting triple teams, getting sacks, you know what I'm saying? It makes you go, okay, Fletch is bigger than Aaron Donald. He should, he's athletic. He should be getting some of these stats too, And then you got guys like Hargrave come on the team. Fletch has always had a stud next to him, whether it's BG, Hargrave, what was the other dude name? From the dude from Ravens we had,
Oh yeah, the big guy. Yeah. I can't think of it.
Dang, what's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Nada.
We had Nada. We had Jackson.
Jackson
on the side of him.
Yeah.
And then we also had the other dude from the Ravens. It was like the Super Bowl year. Well, anyways, he's had big guys on the side of him to help take away some of that pressure the whole time. 9 out of 10 people couldn't even tell you who Donald has on the side of him playing, at that defensive tackle spot. So it's just like to have all that with you, plus like guys like BG, on the side of you. And you see now that BG's gone, your production still is not coming up. You're supposed to be the guy taking lead now that BG's gone, and he has not been doing it. So I think he has fair criticism on him, and I agree. Like, I think Fletch needs to produce a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even going to give him no pass because he's an all-time Eagle great. Like I said, take a pay cut, then I'll give you that pass. But until then, you're going to want some more money anyway. You got to produce, man.
That's fair. And another guy I should have mentioned was Brandon Graham as well, but he's out. But that's another guy who just, he was almost a Giant years ago. I think 7 years ago or so, they almost had him do a contract, and then he decided to stay. But he's another one that represents that Eagle dominance over the last 10 years or so, where everything the Giants do just doesn't work against Philly. But Graham's a stud as well. And I don't know if Sirianni is going to wear a shirt this week or anything, but
Cap.
No more shirts, Sirianni. Right. You're done.
I was going to say, what do you guys think of that? Do you like that or no?
I mean, honestly, sure. I don't got no problem with it. Honestly, I mean, I think the media, of course, gonna use whatever they can to, stir up any type of conversation or some type of friction within the organization. But honestly, I feel like the players really tune into it. A lot of people gave him crap about, the flower speech or whatnot. But ever since the flower speech, these guys, they locked in and they've been performing. So I think for the most part, I feel like it's definitely blown out of proportion more than, it needs to be.
Yeah, they haven't lost since the flower speech, I don't think. I think they've won every game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they've been playing different since the flower speech. I'm not with the whole look. I like the motivational speeches.
Stems and leaves to our nice bush. And it's called the playoff bush that we're going to be going on. You know, we're going to be arriving until.
Oh, Ethan Wenger's chiming in. Oh, Princeton and Trenton. Hate to break it to you, South Jersey's better. Yeah, which part? Let me. You know, you can't just say South Jersey. There's East and West, bro. So go ahead, Ethan. Bring it.
No, that's one thing. Again, I'm not a big fan of the whole shirts wearing. You know, again, I think as a first-time head coach, forget all the antics. You need to come out there and make a statement on the field. Again, I do like the speeches, but coming out there with the shirts, we came out there again. I just got this nasty, miserable thought of when we came out there with the Dallas shirt and got the brakes beat off us in Dallas. So I don't want to see that no more until we start, you know, actually making some noise and doing the things that we need to do. I don't want to see the t-shirt business. I'm good with the speeches and the statements, but let's hold back on the t-shirts till we do something.
Yeah, you definitely got, especially when it comes to rivalries.
Cool, but...
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, like, the speeches, they cool, you know, but I think overall what matters more is the play on the field. You know, I feel like nobody really is gonna trip too hard or pay too much attention if it's, you know, accumulating to wins on the field, you know. And that's one thing Nick Sirianni, I guess that's why I don't really have no problem with the speeches or whatnot, because hey, that's what make him him. And so far, you know, the team, they definitely been changing, making a transition. They started off the season like real pass heavy, and he's shown the ability to not to adjust and not be naive and actually listen to his players, and completely made a 180 as far as the scheming goes. Because we was starting to question him at one point. We was saying he was possibly a one and done coach. All these coaches, as a matter of fact, you know, was being evaluated to the point where it was hard for a lot of us Eagles fans to even evaluate the players because of the position that these coaches was putting the players in. And so I think looking at it from that standpoint and just seeing that, okay, Nick Sirianni is a first-year head coach, and as long as his message is being received and the players are buying into it, I'm all for it. You know, I feel like this, it's a young team. So I feel like a lot of people, you know, there's vets in the game, you know, they might have a hard time hard time getting in tune with somebody that got that high school like flavor. And so, you know, with Nick Sirianni, he bringing a whole different vibe, and the whole coaching staff itself is a young coaching staff, you know, so they all learning on the job. Nick Sirianni, he was literally brought up from underneath a coach. His dad was a coach. His brother is a coach. This guy grew up in a football house. This coaching stuff is nothing new to him. It's new, but it's not new. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of nuances to it, but overall his message is getting across, and I'm honestly still learning and evaluating Nick Sirianni. But so far, I don't care about how he delivered his message, as long as the message is a good message and it's being received, because his message has to go throughout the whole building, and with it going through the whole building, you know, that's going through the new coaches. All these coaches are young coaches, and at one point, JG, his seat was the hottest seat in the coaching room, just on the strength that we knew good and well, you know, we was gonna give another year to the head coach, and the defense was giving up 40 plus points at one point, and back-to-back games, and 30 plus the game after that. And so we was on his bumper. And so I feel like it says a lot for the team itself to make a complete switch, and his message seemed to be getting across to the defensive side of the ball too as well, because JG is blitzing more. He changing up his scheme and is adjusting. So if the head coach is showing that he can adjust and not be naive to certain situations, I feel like I feel like it says a lot about the coach when his overall energy is flowing through the whole the whole building as well. So hey, I'm all for his messages for real.
Yeah, I was surprised at how long it took him to run the ball. Like, I don't know why they weren't doing it earlier. Like, and they were getting like 6 yards of carry. So you have Sanders, you got Boston Scott, you have these good running backs, and it just seemed like he didn't get to it till midway through. And now he's running the ball more. So I was hoping he was not bright enough to run the ball still. But unfortunately, he's figured out that they can do it. So yeah, I mean, right now, since that Flower speech, I don't think they've lost, and they've looked good. They're flying high. So. Work's cut out today, man.
And in terms of the whole, shirt thing for me, I feel like until you beat these division teams, you're not allowed to do anything. You can't wear no shirts, you can't talk no smack. You know what I'm saying? The division games are crucial for you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? We are deep fans. The rivals go a long way back, way before you even coach football, my guy. So until you actually go in there and make your mark by getting those wins, I don't want to see any kind of shirts. I don't want to see any kind of hats, none of that stuff when it comes to coaching in these games. Like if you want to do it against, teams like the Jets or, other teams that are not in our division, I don't care, wear your shirts. But when it comes to the division game, you got to go earn that, you definitely got to go earn that.
Hey, facts. And real quick, I'm glad that you did bring up the whole Sirianni because we were all lost in the beginning. Why is this team not even trying to run the ball? Some of that stuff was just way unconventional. I mean, we all know football is predicated off of you have to at least try to run the ball in this league. If you are just coming out here passing it, I guarantee you are not going to be a successful team. So when we initially saw that, I thought this coach was straight up just incompetent, but we're starting to see him learning, and he's starting to adapt to, the talent and the strengths he does have. So when I look at like our coach versus Joe Judge, that's something also. I mean, if as a coach, you would have to say, listen, we're not taking these shots down the field. Accountability has to be somewhere. So again, whether that was the firing of maybe that's going to change the things. But I got a feeling, again, that's something the Giants are going to, if Joe Judge is a competent coach, they're going to at least give opportunities for Daniel Jones, at least this game, to throw this ball down the field. So I think, honestly, that's going to be something we're going to have to keep our eye on this game because, again, we're going to find out if Joe Judge is a competent coach, something that I think Sirianni, again, he woke up. He's finally learning, listen, I need to use my strength of this team, which is the run game. I know I need to go check my defensive coordinator because he had our cornerbacks playing off coverage, 10 yards back, and they're, press corners. So, again, as a coach, I think it's your responsibility to get everybody in check. So that's something I'm looking at Judge to. We're going to find out if he's a coach or not. And apparently he fired Jason Garrett. So hopefully that's a good move. We got to see what he's going to correct on this defense. But I look at Joe Judge. Where's the accountability? Where's your responsibility for saying, hey, we need to give Kenny Golladay more shots down the field. We need to have Daniel Jones air the ball out more. So, hey, I see they trying to make moves by firing Jason Garrett out there. But again, I'm looking at some of this stuff from the coach, Joe Judge, and what changes is he going to make? Yeah,
now it's all on him, right? I'm sorry. He can't fall back on Garrett now, right? He's almost naked now. It's like, oh, it's on me now. So he made the move with Colombo last year. He made the move with Garrett. You have to wonder if he wanted to make that move before. Look, the way Garrett was hired was he was interviewed before Judge, right? So what was it? It was a coincidence that Jason Garrett got the offensive coordinator job. Like, I almost felt like, I don't want to say forced on him, but Jason Garrett for a short time played for the Giants. He's got Princeton ties, New Jersey ties, friend of the Mara family. Look, man, when he was hired, it was like, well, that's not really that surprising when he's the offensive coordinator. So you just have to wonder, like, Monday night was probably the last straw, but you have to wonder if he wanted to make that move before that. I just think Monday night at that post-game presser when they asked Judge about it, and he said, if I was the players, I'd be mad too. I just said, Jason Garrett's done. Like, that's it. Finally going to happen. So, yeah, now, though, we like our defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham, but yeah, it's going to be on Judge now. What changes is he going to make with Freddie Kitchens, and how's he going to tweak this offense?
Hey, you already know the evaluations. I salute to my guy, Drew, with the $2 super chat. Yes, sir. My man says Joe Judge is a soup sandwich. Go Birds.
I don't know what that means, guys.
Let's hope so, brother. Let's hope so.
I don't know what that
means. Joe Judge is from Philly, so he went to Lansdale Catholic. So there you go.
Hey, so Give me like 2 players on offense and 2 players on defense that worry you the most going into this game today.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say that I'm excited about. Worry? You want just 2?
Just 2?
I would say it has to be the offensive line, Billy Price and Will Hernandez, just up the middle in the offensive line. I'm scared to death of what you guys are going to do. And then on defense, I just need to see more from Tay Crowder. He's a 7th round pick, but just at middle linebacker, it seems a lot of his tackles are down the field. And James Bradbury is not having the year that he had last year. That's one. I got to give you more, though. Logan Ryan's not playing today, right? So Julian Love's in, who I like. I love Xavier McKinney, but it's going to be, is their 3rd round pick Robinson going to contribute? Like, I guess on offense, it's the 2 that I said. It's Price and Hernandez. On defense, I would say Tay Crowder filling the gaps and making an impact, and James Bradbury just being able to, who's going to cover Devontae Smith? Is it going to be Adoree Jackson? Is it going to be Bradbury? And you know that the Eagles will want to embarrass the Giants with Devontae Smith, being that they traded up to get him. I mean, I could see these things a mile away, right? And it's almost like when they happen, the Giants will be saying, like, oh, who knew Devontae Smith was going to get 12 catches for 165 yards? Like,
that'd be awesome.
I don't know, man. It's just things like that. And doing this on Strahan's day, right? Like, there will be Eagles chanting going on during that ceremony. John Mara is going to be introduced and probably booed. Like, this is the perfect storm for just a crappy Sunday. So, yeah. Anyway.
Indeed.
Were you going to say something, Gifted?
Oh, man, sure. I forgot, but no, I had thought of something, though. Basically, like, I know it seemed like the Eagles should win this game. But now, my brother, he's a Giants fan, so I
good. That's good to hear. Nice kid, nice guy. I heard.
Nice kid.
Yeah, he in the house. So basically, I watch a lot of Giants games, and I haven't seen the Eagles beat the Giants easy in a long time. I haven't seen just a clear out. Just a stumping in a while. Like, it seemed like it's always a fight, no matter what the records is, no matter how good somebody has been. This is the NFC East. These games always, for some odd reason, be close. I don't care what's been going on in the past few weeks and what they've been doing. These teams, it's like they know each other too well, and it always come down to 3 to 10 points. Those are the type of games. It's never 14, 20, nothing like that. It's always a field goal or 10 points. And the Giants already, like I said, early in the season, they wasn't as bad as they look now. And Daniel Jones, one thing about him, when he has a clean pocket, he can make the throws. If he's in there, I've seen Ingram drop key passes. I've seen they wide receiver drop key passes. Like I said, my brother's a Giants fan, so I'd be like, I don't know how he dropped it, but basically, like, they didn't look as bad as they do now. So they could really, be in position. Daniel Jones could, honestly do good, but hey, we have to be on our P's and Q's for sure. Take advantage of that offensive line.
Yeah, 2018 was probably the last time. It was when I think it was a Thursday night game where the Giants got embarrassed. But you're right, the other ones are all close. And it's just, look, man, it's you guys are going to enjoy this, but it's always heartbreaking the way they lose. Evan Ingram dropping a pass.
Yes, I would never forget that one.
Someone named Boston Scott rushing for 600 yards against the Giants. Like, okay,
right?
Cool. Like, and his name's Boston. His name has to be Boston. I'm a Giants, Yankees, Rangers fan. Like, oh my God, it's the ultimate insult. So they are always close, but when you're on the losing side of that, whether you lose by 1 or lose by 30, it doesn't matter. But
hey, real quick. I got the Burner Notion account in the chat, so I gotta salute. Hey, whoever the rep is, the Philly Notion. Hey, Hey, that definitely ain't me, but evidently,
That's what I was
hopefully
like.
they
I'm
can hear y'all.
like, there is a way we can text that to each other. And I think
That's hilarious. Hey, but hey, I just wanted to just chime in real quick. There's 3 things that make me nervous this game. Okay, one, hey, listen, we ain't got Jordan Howard this game. I don't know if y'all noticed, but our whole run game, the way that we actually, have been establishing our run, we've been using Jordan Howard. So with him being out this game, we're gonna have to rely on some Boston Scott. Hopefully Miles Sanders can hold on to the ball this game, because we know last game he had some security issues. So that's one thing that's making me nervous, is Jordan Howard being out. Also, another thing, again, we know that the Giants are going to take their attempts this game. So I'm scared. Again, I don't know how these referees have been impacting this game, but I got a feeling we're going to be in New York. Again, we ain't going to have that on our favor today. So if they're throwing the ball out there, giving them opportunities for 50-50s, if there's contact, I expect to see some flags today. So that also makes me nervous. And then, of course, again, like, I just don't know, the element of surprise, I guess, with Daniel Jones. We're going to have to contain this man. I'm tired of watching Daniel Jones every time we play against him. He's looking out there like he's running a track meet on us. So we got to contain Daniel Jones this game. He is a run threat. I want to see him beat us with his arm, but at the same time, we're going to have to play some contact-free, disciplined football today. So those are my thoughts in this game. I am a little nervous, but we need to put these Giants out, like they said, quick, fast, and in a hurry today. Ain't no playing around
too.
Letting the game stay in, because that's when it'll get dicey at the end.
Yeah, I would say, look, you don't even need to blitz, right? Like, see how they're – if I'm the Eagles, I would see how the front four is rushing and then kind of go from there. If they're getting pressure, then you drop your linebackers back, and then you're more likely to even get more interceptions. So if they're not getting there, look, the Giants are going to look to take shots down the field. So you have to play it that way. If the 4 get there, you're good. But if not, then you got to get a little creative with blitzes and things like that. And if you give Jones a lot of time, look, I know you guys don't believe in him, and I get it, but he's accurate down the field. And unfortunately, with Jason Garrett, you didn't see it much because he didn't take those shots. So, I think the Eagles will have no trouble getting to Jones, even if they just rush their 4, just because the Giants line is that bad. Is that bad today going into this game?
My biggest worry is that somehow, some way, Saquon gets off. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you play it back like Saquon, man, he can be having the worst season in the world, but I don't want it to be your defense where he actually decides to open up on, because he's a home run hitter. Right. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we get out there, put that pressure on, and eliminate the run game early as soon as possible when it comes to you guys, and Daniel Jones, too. Like, as much as people want to talk about his throwing, he breaks off, for some nice runs out there, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? He breaks off. They're more, scattered runs, because he's probably worried he's going to get killed. But at the same time, they go for chunks of yardage. So I don't want you to. Yeah, I mean,
he had the 2 big RPOs last year, the one where he fell down on the 8-yard line, but it was an 80-yard run. And then the one in New York where I think it was a 34-yard touchdown on the left. What's funny about him is he runs better when it's a design play. When it's a broken play, he almost seems hesitant, and it doesn't take advantage of his kind of natural gifts. So, like, he's more of a straight ahead guy. He's not going to juke people like Lamar Jackson, but straight away he's very fast, right? He's a almost deceptively fast. But with Saquon, he's still nursing that ankle injury, right? He's not 100% healthy. So that's the thing as well. It's like you're running behind a bad line, and you're going to try to get this guy out in space. But look, that ankle injury, it wasn't a high ankle, but it was a bad one. And it was a freak play against Dallas where he stepped on the guy's foot. It's what I call like a basketball injury, right? You jump up for a rebound and you step on someone's foot and then you sprain your ankle and, you're in pain for 2 weeks. But this was bad. It blew up. So he's still recovering from that, guy. So I'm not trying to poo-poo it in any way, but
you're trying to bait us in. Yeah.
No, guys. I have no, they don't listen to me, right?
About the guy.
If they listen to me, they'd probably be more successful. They don't listen to us. Right. But I think you're going to see almost as much Devontae Booker as you will Barkley today, I think.
Do you like Booker? I hear some people think he should be the next guy.
I love him. He's a hard worker, man. He does everything you ask of him. He's not flashy, but he reminds me of a typical old school Giants running back, just straight up and straight ahead, can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not flashy. He's not going to burn people down the field, but he does what he's supposed to. I And it was funny because he was one of the free agents pickups that the first week it was like our first pickup is a running back. Why? And we signed him to a 3-year deal, but then you see what he can do. And for once, Gettleman made a pretty good choice with him.
Do you think it's time to get rid of
Saquon? Y'all had last year? Was it at Gallman? Did y'all have Wayne Gallman?
I like Gallman. I don't know why they didn't, but whatever. I don't know, man. Do I think it's time to get rid of Saquon? You asked. Again, it's going to be these 7 games. What can you? He's, they're not going to give him a extend him. He's going to be there next year. So it depends what the next GM wants to do, right? Like you had every GM in the world saying you can't take a running back at 2. So if you bring in a new GM, he's going to say, I'm not giving this guy a contract. They may say, let's trade him while we can get something for him. Okay. Do I think they should trade him? Yes. Yes, I do.
And then draft the running back or leave Booker there and find someone just to compliment him in free agency.
It depends what falls to you in the draft. I would never invest a running back that high again. It depends. They have 2 first rounders. I think they have 2 in the 3rd. Maybe you could use one of your 3rd round picks for it. I don't like paying a lot for running backs in free agency. Booker's fine. Draft someone. They drafted a kid, Gary Brightwell. I'd like to see him get more carries, but he's more of a special teams guy right now. So yeah, I would take one later in the draft, guys. That's what I would do.
Nice.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. Again, I think that draft focus needs to be O-line because you ain't running nothing without a line period.
Right,
so
right.
I get it. I get it.
I definitely don't want this to be the game that Saquon Barkley take off. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
people don't even think about that.
Because like I said, this is the game that is never easy. So it's gonna be hard some type of way. You know what I mean? Like I understand the Giants offensive line been struggling. I think last game they allowed 2 sacks, 9 QB hits or something like that. And yeah, so and they dealing with injuries on top of that. So I'm hoping we can take advantage. Our defensive line has not been consistent when it comes to getting pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping we can see a little bit of the early season version of Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. He always demand that double team. So hopefully with that being set up, we can take advantage. But like I said, I hope this is not the game that Saquon Barkley take off because we was struggling to stop the run early in the game. Last week I believe Saquon Barkley only had 6 carries,
6 carries, 25 yards. 6 receptions, 31.
But that was him just getting back.
Guys. Not like I stare at those stats all the time, but yeah, I mean, 12 touches for your star running back. Great job, guys.
But see, last week he was just getting back. So that's more of the
but then don't
roll you in slowly type situation. You know what I'm saying?
That's what people trying to. That's what people trying to say, that they slowly trying to work him. But I feel like, that's Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all waiting on this guy to show why he deserves that contract. Ain't no working him back in. He's Saquon Barkley. He's a star. You see him on every commercial. He got more commercials than anybody else on the New York Giants team. And so he's that star player. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping if we can shut him down, that forces Daniel Jones to pass the ball, and that's what we want. We want to force Daniel Jones to pass the ball as much as he can because if he in the slump right now, which he coming off a game, he threw 2 interceptions. So we want to keep this guy in this slump because we as a JD seems to pick up on teams that has been slacking in the quarterback position or might not be performing as well. We tend to blitz more, take advantage of teams like that, and this is the game. I think Daniel Jones last game QB rating had a 57.7 or something like that, and so I think that's due to him, turning the ball over. And we as a defense has been picking up. We just talked about Darius Slay earlier about him basically having damn near a Pro Bowl like season. And so this, like I said, we can bait these guys into playing into our hands, force them to pass the ball, which is basically like I said, playing right into our hands until what I believe is the toughest part of our team, which is our secondary.
Which is weird because going into the season, I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have said your front seven were better. I didn't expect the secondary to be that good. Slay's good, but everybody else, that's a kind of a crapshoot. But yeah, you're right. And the Eagles secondary has been playing well. It's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out and what the Giants are going to do. It's all, I keep saying it, but it's all going to come down to can the line keep those Eagle defenders, namely Cox, Hargrave, Barnett, off Jones. And if they can, then they have a shot. Otherwise, it's going to be ugly again early.
Might help you out a little bit. Barnett might help you out a little bit. You know, he love to get penalties all the time.
Yes.
So he might help you out a little bit.
See Barnett acting up today.
Roughing the passer a lot, right? He's not, yeah, I know. So
yeah.
What is everybody's key matchup? Like, what's the number one matchup you'll be watching, keeping the most closest eye on today in the game? Like I said earlier, for me, it's gonna be Saquon Barkley versus our linebackers. Davion Taylor's out today. You know, what's his name? Not Bradley. Edwards has been playing some good football over the last couple of weeks, but it's just him. You know, him and Davion been both balling now at that linebacker spot. Having one of them down, I think you're probably gonna bring in Sean Bradley now off the bench, you know, or from special teams in there.
Oh, real quick. Sean Bradley. I was in Wildwood Crest, and I was in Acme, and this jacked guy wearing Eagles. I just had to ask him, like, do you play? And he goes, no, my son does. He played for Temple. And I said, Bradley? And I had Giants on. And he goes, yeah. He goes, we're all Giant fans, but he got drafted by the Eagles. So there you go. So I thought that was funny. His dad met his father, but they're a Giants family. But yeah, I like Bradley. Anyway, sorry, man. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
That's a good one right there, man. And yeah, I think honestly, again, the matchup I'm really looking at today, I'll give you one on actually it's on both sides. So I'm gonna actually be watching the wide receivers versus the corner. So specifically, I'm looking at Galladay versus Slay this game. I think Galladay, again, that's their number one option today. Tony's gonna be out. Again, Sterling Shepard, I don't think he's playing. So I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities today for Galladay to at least see if he can get some 50-50 balls. So I'm looking at big play Slay. Oh, yes. Coming with some shutdowns today. And then on our side, I think we're going to see some Devontae Smith against some Bradbury. So I'm looking at that on both ends. I think our wide receivers for both teams have opportunities to impact this game today. So I'm putting my money on big play Slay. Y'all already know what it is. But at the same time, I do think Daniel Jones is going to give Galladay a lot more opportunities today. And again, Devontae Smith. Oh, yeah, he's going to show the Giants why they decided to miss out, or why the Eagles snagged them up in the draft. So I'm ready for it. Battle of the wide receivers versus the corners. That's what I'm looking at.
Honestly, I'm looking at the lineup up on the line. I want Javon Hargrave to turn into that monster, man. I'm low key. I know Fletcher Cox, is getting a double team, and I heard what you said about, I heard you, Jerry, when you say you listen to a lot of people talking down upon Fletcher Cox. Well, look, I'm disappointed too. So I have to put all my faith in Javon Hargrave, because Fletcher Cox, he demands that double team. And trust me, I appreciate that, because that opens up. I'm not expecting him to get no sacks. I'm not expecting him to do that no more. I'm expecting the sacks to come from Javon Hargrave. He needs to eat. He needs to eat right up the middle. Daniel Jones is not a mobile quarterback. He needs to get up there in that middle and take off, because Daniel Jones and wrap up. Because every time we play Daniel Jones, for some odd reason, he started looking like Eli Manning in the Super Bowl when he threw the ball and dude caught it on his helmet. I promise to God, I'm like, yo, y'all sure Daniel Jones is a bust? Because when I see him, he make plays, he throw down. Like I said, when he has a clean pocket, and he feeling himself, he can put the money on the ball, the ball on the money. You know what I mean? So, I'm looking at the matchup up on the defensive line and the offensive line, but more specifically, whoever is lined up against Javon Hargrave for sure.
Yeah, I think you guys both hit it right. I Galladay versus whoever's covering him. That's the one I want to see. It's probably going to be Slay, but I'm sure there'll be other times where it's going to be the other corner. But I want to see what Cox does to Will Hernandez. I know Hargrave has been playing better all year. and Cox demands a double teams, but he's just owned the Giants for so long. Will Hernandez had a rough game Monday night. I want to see how he rebounds against Cox because I think that's going to be the key. It's going to be the key to victory today, guys. If the Eagles can get into the backfield and disrupt what Freddie Kitchens is going to try to do, it's going to be a long day. That is more important, I think, than even the Galladay matchup for me.
Nice. Well, all right, man. Let's go around the room. Let's go ahead and give our score predictions.
All right, I'll go
last.
My score prediction will have to be 30.
Wait. Before you give it, do a hot take and a score prediction.
A hot take? What do you mean? Coming out the game, like, or going into the game?
Going into the game. Like a hot take, like Daniel Jones is going to rush for 150 yards today with 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
Hot take. I'm gonna say Boston Scott. Boston Scott gonna have 100 yards, over 100 yards again, and he's gonna be consistent with being that giant killer. That's what I'm going. That's my hot take going into the game, and I'm gonna have to say a score of 30-14. You know, everybody look. Muzz was in. We did a pregame show last week when I said 30, and that guy said, I know y'all remember he was down in the comment 30. Then he was talking about tanking. We was talking about tanking. Man, you know he didn't show up after the game because we put a 30. As soon as we scored that 30, I was thinking about I said, there you go. But I'm gonna say a score total of 30-14. Like I said, my hot take is Boston Scott having over 100 yards and being consistent with being that giant killer. Nick Sirianni needs to be consistent with pounding the ball. I'm a little worried about Miles Sanders because he fumbled the ball once. Could have been twice, but the refs blew the whistle. So he kind of, every time he seemed to be pressing a little bit too much, he kind of, do too much with the ball. And then if Nick Sirianni can be consistent with the run game, I don't need him to be. I think last game we had rushed the ball like 50 attempts last game for 242 yards. Maybe not 50 attempts, but I need to see the run game established 100%. And Boston Scott needs to be that dog because I'm not even 100% sure if Miles Sanders can hit the hole like we need him to be, because it was too obvious when Jordan Howard got in the game of the different run style. We ran Miles Sanders a few times, and then Jordan Howard got in the game. We rushed 4 or 5 straight times, straight up the middle for 5-6 yards. Every time it was completely different from what Miles Sanders was giving us, and that's that looking for something to break loose kind of style that Miles Sanders get from Saquon Barkley. I believe they went to the same school together. Maybe that's why they run together. And I think in the offseason they even train together too. So maybe that's why, but I need him to hit the hole. But if he's not, y'all already know Nick Sirianni ain't got no problem with putting Miles Sanders on the bench. He gonna put Boston Scott in, and Boston Scott gonna be that giant killer.
All right, listen, I'm going to throw mine out there real quick on my quick hot take because, again, I do think, hey, listen, we're going to put this game out early. I understand it's a division game, but I'm just feeling like the Eagles have found their groove, gang. So we're coming out with the dub today, 31 to the Giants 17. That's my prediction. My hot take, big play Slay. He ain't just getting 1 pick today. He's getting 2 off of Danny. Hey, go ahead and throw them picks today. I don't think he's going to score a touchdown, but I do believe Big Play Slay is going to have some kind of an impact. I think they're going to be trying to force it to Galladay today. So, hey, Darius Slay, let's go and get your hands on the ball today. I'm calling 2 picks for Darius Slay.
Nice. Hey, did he go? What up, Gate? Gate wanted to stop by real fast. Say what's up. How you doing today,
Gate
guys?
City to go. What's up, bro?
I already did the one live stream, so now my camera don't want to work with me. Hang on, let me see if I can get this camera up.
My hot take today is going to be.
What we talking about, guys? What we talking about? What I miss?
Well, we're finishing up the show now, but we're giving a hot take and score prediction, and you can add in anything else you want since you missed the show. Any kind of Gate City stats you like to throw out there, whatnot.
Okay. Hot take. I see we got a. What's up, man? We got a giant content creator in here. How you doing, Jerry? My name's Steve, man. Gate City Sports.
Hey, Steve, how are you, bud?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm gonna say this lightly because we got Jerry in here, but I'll say this. I think this is a pivotal game for the head coach there. I heard the general manager has already said that he's not coming back next year. Someone put
Well,
that in the chat.
he doesn't have a choice. He don't have a choice. He can say what he wants. He's out later.
And so I opened up the pregame show on the Battlebird's podcast by saying this is an evaluation once you let Garrett go of quarterback, head coach, and GM, and one of those pieces is already fallen. So I think this is they're playing at home. It's kind of a last stand for your coach and quarterback now because the GM's kind of out of the question in my opinion at this point. So I mean, I'm expecting them to try to use every avenue they can to get motivation. All the stuff from last year, them feeling like we allowed Washington to take the division, leapfrogging them to go get Devontae Smith. Coach and quarterback are really fighting for it. Like, I expect this to be one of those games where we're going to get the best of the opponent. The opponent's going to try to come out and fight pretty hard here. So, hot take here: get behind this offensive line and run the ball because the defense is not the problem on the Giants. I like Patrick Graham a lot. Yeah. I think he's a really good coach. You got to get behind this offensive line. To me, that's the key to victory.
Score prediction.
Score prediction.
Look, I'm going to keep calling close games because every time I call a close game, it's anything but a close game. So I'm going to say 28-27 Philly.
28-27, 1 point game. Yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and go. We need to see if Miles Sanders is that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all proven that he is that dude. Now it's time for Miles to come out. There's too much doubt behind the name Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's too good of a back to be questioning whether he's the guy, is he not the guy?
Sure?
Is Howard better? No, come on, let's keep it real. Miles Sanders is that dude. I think today he starts out with Howard on that bench, and he shows everybody he is that dude. So my hot take today,
Howard already.
Yeah, my hot take today is Miles Sanders will run over 125 yards and have 2 touchdowns against the G-Man today. And I got the Birds winning 35-14 Eagles.
All right, so I threw my head back before on Philly Notion's prediction because I gave the exact same score on our podcast, right? So just to be clear, I'll do the score first. 31-17 Eagles. The Giants, when they retired Lawrence Taylor's number, they lost. When they retired Phil Simms' number, they lost. When they retired Eli Manning's number, they lost. So they're retiring Strahan today, so it's good news for you guys. So my hot take is Devontae Smith, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're gonna try and embarrass the Giants with Devontae Smith. It's gonna be a concerted effort to throw the ball to him. I mean, maybe not even in the first half, but by the second half, because of what they pulled with the draft, he's gonna trust me. They will be targeting him a lot. But the matchup I'm watching. The matchup, I think, like I said before, Fletcher Cox and Will Hernandez is going to really determine this game. But the hot take is going to be Devontae Smith being targeted often, whether it's in the first half, second half. But, let's say, what did I say? 10 catches, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I forgot that every time.
I like it. I like it. It's hot take best.
I don't like it. I'm just saying I think that's what it is. So.
All right, man. Any final words from anybody before we get out here and cut out to this game? It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'll say this. It was interesting hanging around Eagle fans and not having bottles thrown at me. It was kind of cool. It was a new experience for me. Like I said, I live in between. I live closer to Philly. So I joke that the ShopRite south of me has Eagles. The ShopRite north of me has Giants. So I think my house is the dividing line. But it was a pleasure, guys. It was a lot of fun. I'll come back next time, and this was very cool. Thank you both. Thank you, all three of you.
Hey, indeed, Jerry, man, it's been extra fun, man. Again, we gonna see how the Giants are built today. I'll tell you what, one of these teams, if the Eagles lose, we're gonna have to look ourselves in the mirror, and we're gonna be looking like trash bag business. So both of these teams, really, the records is not jumping off of the papers. We both are below 500, so this game honestly means something for both of us. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Giants somehow figure out something in this game, their confidence is going to be right back in this thing. So I think this is a big confidence booster for both teams. Again, the Giants are kind of low right now. I think the Eagles need to go out here and handle this business like they need to. But this does have some senses of some trap games. So I'm not going to sit here and act like we can't overlook that. But it's going to be a good game today. One of these teams need to get the job done. And somebody going to be extra trash bag like after today. So we going to see.
Yeah, real quick. It doesn't. Real quick. They may have losing records, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like we're going against a team that has a winning record. That's what's weird about it, because they've been on a roll lately. It doesn't. It feels like we're going against a team that's on the rise and has a winning record. So anyway,
Gay, you got anything else to say, buddy?
First off, thank all y'all in the comment section. I appreciate that, Richie MC. I did a lot of work on that Rager video that you guys requested, because man, y'all overwhelmed me on that vote. I thought y'all were gonna want the offensive line, but y'all went straight up Rager on that one. Look, guys, this is a game that I think you have to be careful, because they're injured, they're playing really bad, and they're kind of playing with house money with the Eagles right now, because there's not a lot of expectation here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game, if you're the Eagles and you want to be legitimate playoff contenders, you got to close these type of games out. And that's what I'm for. Close the game out. When you have the advantage, it really shouldn't be in question. So close it out. Close the game out. That's all I'm looking for.
Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, let me shout my guy Drew once again, $2. Hey, Dallas sucks. Let them know with your chest. Hey, they keep messing up. Somebody gonna catch the Dallas Cowboys, hopefully. So, hey, hopefully let Dallas keep doing what they do in November and December. We all know it too well.
Get it.
Man, look, my final words is, man, look, this could be a trap game, but hey, I'm really expecting it to be close, because I'll be crazy to see that our games always come down to 7 to 10 points, and then just the thing all of a sudden it's gonna be a blowout. You know what I'm saying? But so hey, that's what I expect. I expect a close game, but I'm pulling for us to just do what I know we can do, which is blow them out. I know we can, but it's fucking gonna be close.
Yeah. My final thoughts is, yes, the same thing. Eagles, go do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? If the number one rush defense can't stop you, I don't think the Giants defense is going to stop you either. Go in there, run the ball down their throats, get Devontae Smith active early, and let's go. We are on the road to the playoffs, my guy. We cannot stumble nowhere. I don't see another loss. I don't. I just don't see another loss with the teams that we play moving forward, and we need to go in there and handle our business. Teams that we're supposed to beat. Win those games. You know what I'm saying? You got another one ahead of you right now. Go out on that field and show the league that the Eagles are here for a playoff run. You know what I'm saying? And might even be here for the division championship. If we win today, we are a game and a half behind the Cowboys. The Cowboys this November, December. You guys go. It's time for the Birds to take over and take our division back. So that's my final thoughts. And much love to all you guys in the chat. We're rocking 35 in the chat right now. Please hit that like on everybody's channel. All links are inside the chat. So, show some love on everybody's channel. Hit that like and subscribe to whoever you haven't subscribed to. Jerry, go ahead and let them know where they can find you at on all your social media platforms, my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter @Giant Insider. Our podcast is on all the major platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, you name it, Google Play. And we have a website, www.thegiantinsider.com. We actually have a newspaper that's bi-weekly during the season and monthly in the off season.
Nice. Gate City, let them know where they can find you at, my guy.
Gate City Sports Talk, guys, the YouTube channel. I'm not creative, guys. Hider Steve on Twitter. Hider, I think, .Steve on Instagram. I'm not that creative. You can find me easily. Just type in HEITTER. I'll pop up, I promise. You guys know I go by Steve. Some of y'all call me Gate. Some of y'all call me Stat Sheet Steve. I don't care what you call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's the only thing I care about.
Love it. Cerebral fashion. Gate be kicking it.
Yeah. DEEGIFTED.
Man, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy DEEGIFTED, Reverend DEEGIFTED. Y'all can come tune in and hear some Eagles gospel. I wear my feelings on my sleeve. Join me on my journey to 100 subscribers, and all y'all will be entering in a live raffle I'm gonna be doing on my channel for Brian Dawkins jersey.
Nice. And I'm BirdGame31. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on Twitter, BirdGame31_P. You know, I'm here on the road to 2K. So subscribe to me on YouTube under just BirdGame31. I'm also part of the BGN Sports Media, like the rest of my guys up here. Follow all of us over there on that channel. That's the NFL channel full of great content from a lot of different great content creators. So subscribe to all the, like I said, all those links are inside the chat. And let's go. We'll get that W today. Birds Notion, send us out like you like to do, my guy.
You already know, my guy. Y'all know what today is. It's trash bag takeout day. So we got to handle this business. Somebody's coming out victorious. Somebody's coming out holding the L. I hope it ain't us. And I hope we get this thing done early. So hopefully we get it rocking, gang. Hey, y'all have yourselves a safe and fantastic Eagles day. It's always fly, Eagles, fly. And until next time, y'all know what it is. Gonna keep the notion. So
Let's go.